Every female in a relationship should be treated like a princess.
Wow.
And that is the standard that I have set, and that is the standard that we set as females. Any guy that can't take their girl out regularly, buy her gifts, and attend to her needs, you're not ready to be in a relationship. Take a break, decide what you want to do, get your money up, and then we go again.
What up, YouTube? I am your host, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. Back in here with one more video. Y'all already know what time it is. You clicked on the video because you saw the thumbnail, you saw the title of the video, and it's time to get active. Shout out to my Instagram at Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. It's long, but you know how to spell. If you don't, link down in the description box down below. Your boy's been posting up there. And y'all been sending me some fantastic content that I must go over here today. There was a YouTube channel called Trend Central that uploaded a video of a couple, two different couples talking to a therapist. I wanted to go through one of the interactions here in this video today. I thought it was uniquely fascinating to watch this unfold in the way that it did. Without further ado,
Jamal, you were the one that reached out to come to therapy. Was there anything in particular that you wanted to talk about?
So yeah, I've experienced therapy before. I've done a solid 8 months, and I think this was so beneficial for our relationship. The reason why obviously I brought Deborah to therapy with me is I feel like she doesn't value my words. So I'm just questioning my manhood as well.
In what way?
So being a provider, I provide for her, of course, but I feel like with her high expectations and the things that she expects from me, it's going above and beyond the person that I probably am. So an example was, okay, I got a Gucci bag. As soon as, probably 2 weeks, she was talking about, oh, let's go to Greece for her birthday and stuff. I was thinking, I've just literally got you an expensive gift. Can't you just wait?
Why can't we do both?
Yeah, we can do both, but times have changed. I'm looking to buy a house. I've got a project in Ghana I'm obviously sorting out. Obviously got a new project I'm even doing, a health retreat as well, which obviously costs a lot of money. And I just feel like Deborah needs to actually understand money, understand the value of money, and the time that needs to be put into that. Deborah doesn't really...
Let me just comment on this before we get into the brother's comments. Now, he said a couple of very interesting things. The first thing that he said is he did therapy before, and he found it uniquely valuable within his life. I think he said he did it for about 8 months or so. Okay, that was the first thing. Now, what else did he also say? He said that she says things in here in order to essentially discredit his manhood. And then he brings up an example of the Gucci bag and then her asking for a trip after that. Camera goes over to her and then she says, well, why can't we do both? And this is the thing too, when I see energies like this, I often find that there's just some women that just want a bank, just a walking, talking bank to provide for things that they couldn't provide for themselves. And here's the thing, you can want what you want at the end of the day, but do you amount up to what it is that you want? And listen, if you can get it, then do you. Have fun requesting all that you can request. But listen, the sheer audacity to be asking for all of these things when they are young and in a relationship and not even married is absolutely perplexing to me. But let's see the brother's comments.
Value money. It's all cool when she's by herself, but when it's us, together, that can't really run anymore. It seems like it's being more of an anchor. We're trying to build together, right? That's what relationships are all about. So personally, if she wants it to flourish, then she needs to kind of think about the money aspect of things. I feel like
it's so incredible to me to see the way that he's articulating that, but he's almost passive in the way that he's trying to communicate that. So we know over here, we're all down with the idea that if it needs to be an exchange, well, what is your end of the bargain? But it even seems as though through the information that has been fed through him through media, he's still conflicted, because from a logical perspective, it makes complete and utter sense. But what's the information that we all see and or hear that is normalized enough for her to be confident as she says all these things, if this is matter of fact, yeah, I'm with you, so you're supposed to provide this X, Y, Z, A, B, C, and for him to be passive as he's communicating what he thinks should be valuable, building towards something into a future. Fascinating to see it like this. But let's move on.
She's controlling. She doesn't allow me to do particular things. So my social media...
Allow you?
Yes, allow me.
Oh, please.
Yeah, so my social media activity...
You have to do what you like. Let's get that right.
Hold on, babe, let's not do that. She asked me the question. Okay.
Go ahead.
So yeah, she just controls
Lay down the
social
law.
media activity. Obviously,
That's because you do too much.
that's what generates me money as well. So that's obviously who's buying the gifts for her. So there shouldn't really be a problem. But she's
What, Clubhouse buying me gifts?
Yeah, if I'm making money, I'm monetizing off it. Of course, it's a problem.
So
The pure entitlement is absolutely insane. If you guys notice through that entire exchange, again, the therapist asks the brother the question, okay? And she does nothing but undermine and to cut off and to confront as he is articulating himself. It's not your turn to talk, lady. Let him express himself fully without combating each step that he's making.
tell me, your business,
Yeah.
Do you market yourself through social media?
Yeah, so obviously there's a lot of it's through social media, through marketing. A lot of it's mouth to mouth as well. But the issue is she just feels that because I'm on social media, she just thinks I'm doing it out of leisure rather than business.
Right. And it isn't totally leisure. It
No,
is.
majority. So I'll say like, if we're going to put it on like percentages, I'll say 80% is business, 20% is a bit of leisure.
And do you understand that?
No.
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 So when I'm buying
I
these
don't-
gifts, so what?
Okay, first of all, let's just calm down because Clubhouse does not generate enough funds for you to buy me a Gucci bag.
Have you seen my accounts?
That's for one.
Secondly, it's just the social media for me is just too obsessive.
Notice the
this
attitude.
excuse about how it's, you know, it's part of your business, etc., etc.
It doesn't take away from the
Pure
fact that
entitlement.
I still like expensive gifts. Like, you know the girl that you got with.
Jamal knows the type of girl that he got with. Like, I like looking good and I like the luxury brands, the Fendis, the Gucci's. The next purchase that I want Jamal to get for me is a Prada bucket hat. Like, he knows the girl he got with. I'm a female.
You're my boyfriend.
I expect for my boyfriend to look after me, like, and that's just it. So you bringing this up is, you know,
Tell me.
I'm not.
Notice the words, I expect my boyfriend to look after me. No, that's not what your expectation is. Your expectation is luxury. That's your expectation, and that is far different than having a boyfriend look after or take care of. No, you want the creme de la creme. You want the luxury. And like I said before, you can want what you want. And at the end of the day, you're right. He did choose you. Okay. But this is what I'm saying is that he's so conflicted because he chose you. He likes you. And he feels as though between the words that you're manipulating him with and the culture that has manipulated him in order to make him feel like not a man or he has no manhood unless he can do these things for you. That's what you're seeing with the confliction. That's why over here we are recalibrating the way that we all think so we can walk forward in an air of complete respect for who we are. That's why it's so important to go over videos like this because it's not just him. It's not just him that's getting taken advantage of.
Really understanding.
When he gives you these gifts, what does that make you feel like?
Great question.
It makes me feel like a princess. When I was younger, my dad, even till this day, like he treats me like a princess, and that's my expectation of a man. You know, towards the beginning, he started off like that, you know,
What about
slightly, but now it's completely down the drain. Like there's nothing
That was
like
great.
that.
So what, I'll treat you like a princess no more, no?
No, he doesn't.
Wow.
So, as far as you're concerned, just explain to me how you want him to treat you.
I would definitely say, you know, I don't want to put a timestamp on like how often you should get me gifts, but I just feel like,
Wow.
you know, here and there. I think the last time he bought me something was September, my birthday, which was the Gucci bag. That's the last time that I've gotten like an expensive gift.
But
And
the
if it's not-
value on these gifts,
Sorry?
is the value on these gifts, is it the value of the gift or is it something else?
I think it's a bit of both. You know, I like to look good, and Jamal knows this. So it's just about keeping up. I think
empty.
I don't think he really keeps up as a man.
Keeping up with the
I don't think I'm
Joneses.
asking for too much to
By any
look. Do
means
you not want me to look
necessary.
good?
Babe,
Do you not want me to look good?
I would love you to look good.
Wow,
but I feel
look at the shame.
I'm 27 right now and she's 24. So me, I'm looking
Wow.
at assets, I'm looking at builds, I'm thinking about building our future.
I don't think age got to do
Yes,
anything
it
with
does.
it.
Because I feel like you're just here for the fast life, you're here for the now, you're not thinking forward. Like I'm doing the best for both of us, not just myself. Like before I was saving for myself, but now you've come into the picture, I feel like I'm carrying the ship, driving the ship, literally being the ship.
I mean, I feel like you're making excuses now. For me, it's like you can't set a standard at the start and then completely change it. Like that's not going to work for me. At the beginning,
you were keeping up. You were buying me the gifts, you were taking me out, and now all of a sudden it's changed.
Every female in a relationship should be treated like a princess.
Wow.
And that is the standard that I have set, and that is the standard that we set as females. Any guy that can't take their girl out regularly, buy her gifts, and attend to her needs, you're not ready to be in a relationship. Take a break, decide what you want to do, get your money up, and then we go again. So
It's clear to me which portion of the YouTube of the internets that she goes to get her content from. This is absolutely clear. I ain't gonna name no names right now. But this is damn near sick. It's so saddening. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, I think that the dude has to still take accountability. You know, if you were showing her all of that in the beginning and you know that that's not something that you can keep up, then you got to take responsibility for falling in love potentially with someone who's a complete and utter terrorist. I mean, it's your fault, and you set it up that way, right? So maybe she was under the belief that that's something that can be maintained. And I mean, here's the thing. You don't need to keep up with her Joneses. You don't. You have a goal in your mind. She doesn't care what your goals are. She just wants what she wants. And if you're giving it to her, even if you're not giving it at the cadence that she wants, but you're still bending to her demands, it will never stop. In fact, it will always get worse. And shit, if she comes across a dude that can actually give out the funds, let's say an older dude that's much more established, 10 years older than you, they're still in their 20s. They can actually do all of these things. You think she won't leave? This is an extreme case of hypergamy. This is an extreme case. Let's keep going.
So why do you have a girlfriend if you can't afford it? Is that what you're...
Whoa. This is your first relation. Don't do that.
Oh,
What kind of places were you going to?
wow. Are we going there?
Yeah,
Sorry, Denise. Are we going there?
Yeah, we're going to do that.
So you're going to tell the world that...
No, hold on.
You're going to tell the world that this is my first relationship. That's embarrassing.
Babe.
So
Sorry, Jamal, what are you talking about?
I'm saying that this is our first relationship, so I feel like...
that's besides the fact. I have spoken to guys before. I've, dated a few guys. I've had experience with guys, but that's what we're not going to do. Like, I've spoken to guys before. It's not been as successful, yeah, fair enough, but you can't say that I don't know about relationships.
So, did you have any kind of idea of the way a relationship would work?
No
It's
idea.
clear that me and Deborah are on two different pages of life. Obviously, I'm 27, she's 24. I'm living for like the later, trying to get my property and other things. And obviously, she's trying to live within the now, like the fast life, the flashy things. I've been there, done that. Like, it's great, but right now we need to think about things for the future. I need to flourish, and I don't want it to be a thing where she's anchoring in my
sensible
life.
young man.
I want it to be a thing where we're going together and going places together. I think that's the way we should be going.
And is that the way you like it?
Yeah, 100%. I'm pulling faces, sorry. I just think he could do a bit more as a man. My expectations of Jamal is to, yes, be the provider, but then you also have to look after me as my boyfriend. Do you get what I mean? And I feel like there's been a lack of that as of recent. He seems to not want to buy me certain things that I asked for.
What, expensive stuff?
Yeah, and on top of that, like, I like going to restaurants, Haksan, Sexy Fish, and that's the sort of restaurants that I like to go to. Jamal doesn't really, because he's saving for a house, I guess that's the excuse he's using these days. He doesn't want to do what he needs to do as a man, as my boyfriend, as my man.
What normal girl doesn't want to go Hakkasan, Sexy Fish? It's actually the norm. Me and my girls, before we were in relationships, we took ourselves there. So I expect my man to take me there. It's the norm. It's a no-brainer.
What do you...
And we wonder why, we get so many panderers. We get so many panderers in a space that just circumvent logical men, right? And just pander to women. And just completely pander to women, okay? Because this mindset that she has is way more prevalent amongst females than males. It's way more prevalent. So I get it from like an economic perspective why you consistently pander to those that have decision-making capabilities like this, okay? Just like this, because I guarantee you her going to all of these fancy schmancy places, buying all this fancy smashy stuff to her stuff, her debt to income ratio, I bet you she's behind. I bet you her credit score is low. And all I'm hearing here is what she wants, what she wants, what she wants. Nothing is about what she can give to him through her straight up entitlement and selfishness. It's so abundantly clear, but it's all predicated and based off of the negative components that she's heard on YouTube and the negative components that she's heard on media that have been created to force men to buy things to please her because she's a princess. It's ridiculous.
Your expectations of him as a man?
Definitely to look after me, to cover me financially. I know we've only been together for a year, but you know, that's my expectation from the get-go. When I was younger, my dad used to take me everywhere I needed to go. Even when I was driving, he was still taking me where I needed to go. So that's what I expect of Jamal, just to basically be there for me as my protector, provider. And
Jamal, what are your expectations?
It's funny she says that because I feel like I do that already. I think the question I've actually got for Deborah is, what exactly do you bring to the table?
Uh-oh.
Are you joking?
Did I start?
That's rude. That is very rude. I don't, like, should you be asking me that? That's actually rude. But I bring a lot to the table. You know that I have a 9-to-5. You know that I have a fashion business that I'm about to open.
Yeah, which I help you with.
Yeah, you help me with it. But I don't think it's right for you to say, what do I bring to the table? So are you trying to say I don't bring anything to the table?
I feel like you could just definitely do a bit more. Obviously, me leading the finances, obviously, as I said, I'm the provider. I feel like Deborah can definitely do a bit more. Obviously, I feel like she's actually anchoring me rather than both lift or elevating together.
Well, when you get the house, then maybe I could do more. But for now, the house isn't here yet.
So you don't want to do nothing else?
But he can't get the house when you're anchoring him down. The sheer audacity. Yo, the sheer audacity. I didn't know he was going to ask her to bring to the table question like that, and I appreciate him being able to ask that. But notice how, oh, that's so rude that you ask me. It's not rude that I require you to treat me in luxury, but it's so rude. How dare you ask what I provide for you back?
So I will hold up my end of the, relationship, but at this present moment in time, it's up to you as a man to get us there. That's just my view.
Okay.
Ridiculous.
And that's not the way you see it?
100% not. I feel like in times like this, I feel like we should be elevating together. Like, this is the reason why we're actually in therapy right now, to actually...
Okay, so how would you like me to help you? I don't understand.
Do you even save?
Oh my gosh, we're not going to discuss about that's what we're not going to do. I
Wow.
don't want to talk about
issues.
My savings on TV. Like, it's not that serious. The fact is, you're my boyfriend, and what I expect of you as my man is to provide for me at this present moment in time. Like I said, when we get married, if we get married, then we'll think about things that I need to do. But for now, you need to take us there. Like, that's just it. I wouldn't be...
Thank you and no thank you.
What are you claiming?
Can someone carry this equipment, please?
Where are you going?
Let him go.
Getting bullshit.
Tell us I've got... What the... Do you see what I have to deal with?
Shoma.
Oh my God.
Just take a minute. It's interesting that you say that you require the man to look after you. Yeah. What's your family background?
My dad was always the breadwinner in the house. He looks after all of us. So he has 5 girls as well as his wife. So yeah, that's how I was raised. He looked after us. He was always going to work. He was always providing. On top of that, looking after my mum, buying her gifts, taking care of her.
And what do you take from those gifts? What do those gifts mean to you?
For me, it just shows appreciation. It shows that you're fulfilling your role as a man.
Okay.
Wow.
And yeah, that's how it makes me feel.
Denise, I think the problem is not the gifts, is the understanding about getting the gifts and when the gifts doesn't arrive. I feel like even with going on dates and stuff like that, she just wants to pick everything. It's almost like she's trying to be controlling, if you know what I mean.
Controlling, because I'm choosing the restaurant.
Yeah, you want to pick everywhere you want to go. You want to pick this, like even controlling my social media activity, even things that I want to wear. It's like you're trying to lay things on the bed for me.
He's stretching it too far now. Like, I'm doing it for the better. Like,
Better, what better? You think I can't handle my own?
I don't want Jamal to be embarrassing me. He likes to comment on girls' photos. You know, I laugh at girls at their man who be commenting on other girls' photos. I don't like, that's not me being controlling. That's me saving myself from embarrassment. That's what it is.
My problem is how Deborah behaves when she doesn't get away. It's just too spoilt bratish.
Like a child.
Like, I get her age and stuff, but that's no excuse. Like, even when she tries to get away, it's a bit too controlling for my liking. Like, I get she likes the flashy things of life and stuff like that, but that needs to get out the window now.
Yeah, the level of what's interesting about this is, and this is all the fathers out there, all the single fathers out there, you can absolutely create a nightmare, all right, if you're raising a young daughter, all right? One of my best friends, he's raising a young daughter right now, and he's being very careful in how much that he treats her like a princess versus spoiling her, right? And I think that there's a fine line that you have to tread right there. This man, this father, has some simp-like tendencies and has corrupted the young daughter. Has corrupted from a tutelage perspective, has absolutely corrupted her from an entitlement perspective. And it's having a major impact on her current relationship, and it's going to have a major impact on her future relationships as well. Unless she finds someone that is simp enough to do all of these different things, or has a bank account big enough to do all of these type of things that she requires. But it's just, it's fascinating to see it demonstrate itself right here. A 24-year-old woman that's requiring all these things out of a 27-year-old man and feigning accountability of what she can provide back. Just keep going.
And do you choose his clothes?
I mean, sometimes.
She can't choose my clothes. She tries to police. I think that's...
Sometimes. You take my advice.
There's a difference between advice and policing. We're not going to police my clothing. I've had enough of it.
So,
Oh! Oh!
don't worry.
Denise, I mean,
Yeah.
sorry.
Get out of there. Let her know.
This is what I mean. Like, sometimes he literally just gets so angry and we can't even talk about anything anymore.
Are you saying he's got anger issues?
Sometimes he can just get so angry and just shut down and then walks out.
Okay.
You don't understand
he's never
why.
been physical with you?
No, definitely not. We never ever take it there. He normally removes himself from the situation, but...
Because you're a tyrant.
For me, I'm not really sure why he got angry. We're having a conversation.
I think at the time you were talking about this control, he felt controlled. But that's not the way you think reacting.
I don't think so. Like, we're a couple. Like, I advise him on what he should wear. With the messages, with the comments on Instagram, like, sorry, I'm not going to have that at all. You can't be commenting on girls' photos. That's nothing to do with me being controlling.
We can move forward with an exercise of some sort, and we can bring it all back together again.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you okay?
Yeah.
She's a loser.
Does it upset you when he acts like this?
Maybe I can be a little bit aggressive with how I talk, but at the same time, if he's not meeting my expectations, I'm going to voice it. Like, I voice my opinions, and I feel like that's what he has an issue with.
All right, guys, that was actually the end of the clip right there. I'm happy for the young brother that he took himself out of that situation. It was clear when it started to get even outside of the money, which bothers him, obviously, but when it started to get into more of the controlling things about her in his life, the Instagram posts, the clothes that he wears, that was apparently the tipping edge for him. For me, the tipping edge would have been the first person of the video, and how she estimates her value and getting angry. And when I ask her to seek accountability for what it is that she brings for the table, that would have been disrespect for me enough. Honestly, I can't believe he's been in a relationship with her for a year, but it is what it is. This is actually episode 1, and they're going to be coming out with future episodes as well. I'm going to make sure to continue to keep up with this particular story because I think that it is very interesting to be able to do so. You know, I think that he made the right move at the end of the day, but at the same time, it is therapy. So I think that removing yourself from a situation when there's not a therapist there, I can absolutely understand the benefit of that. But I think that when you have a third party there that can sit there, diagnose, and talk through the situations, it's not as much of a reason to be able to leave. But I get him at the end of the day. Last but not least, for all of you that substantiate how you feel about yourself with luxury items, I think that you all need therapy. I think that this is my estimation. I think that you all need therapy. There's nothing with little purchases here and there in order for to invest within yourself, right? For a particular purpose, to have more security, more comfort, right? Like, and then here and there to little purchases to reward yourself. But the act of keeping up with the Joneses, to me, represents a deep psychological need, because you're fulfilling a gap within your life by trying to keep up with what Instagram is doing, what your neighbors are doing. You got to find things intrinsically within yourself that can generate happiness outside of passing over the green note across the register. That has been my video. That has been my review. Mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. Guys, let me know. Should I keep on following up with this story? Would appreciate your advice. Until next time, YouTube. Peace.